My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down. The snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together. Let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to On the Block. You just heard us for a little bit of a crossover. I'm Austin Norman, joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet, Mr. Erick Strickland. Stricky, what a beautiful day.
Yeah, it truly is. I was able to walk outside without a jacket today. Not that I would recommend you do that for a long period of time, but the fact that I was able to do it, it's good. Listen, it's almost the middle of February.
Mm-hmm.
I'm praying that there's not another big one. And I'm hoping that we start getting those 60-degree temperatures to pop in as we get into March. I'm hoping. I can only hope.
Rumor has it there's potentially snow on the way on Friday.
Oh, there you go.
Not a lot, just
That's
a little.
Right. I'll be gone.
But yes, Stricky's out of here. Making me sad. Here's the thing. So Nick goes to Mexico, and it's in the freaking native 30s. You're jet setting overseas, and it's going to snow on Friday. What's up with this?
I'm going to be remote next week. I still have a little bit of time. I'm just kind of getting southward because that's where I'll be leaving from.
Fair enough.
I'm getting southward at the right time, obviously, based on what you're telling me. And then, so I'll be remote for that first week, and then after that, the time difference is just no bueno. Was able to do it when we were in Europe, when I was in England and stuff. Cool, time's not too crazy, but no sir.
You're in a different day.
I know. I was talking with me and Jake were talking at the thing, and we were kind of looking it up, and by the time we're on show, I mean it's like 2-3 in the morning.
Woo.
Yeah, no bueno.
Dang.
Yeah.
In the words of Erick Strickland, sucker.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
Yes.
Leaving me. That's all right.
I know, man.
Enjoy your trip. It's going to be good for you.
But I'll be back in time for Big Ten, and I'll be back in time for March Madness. So
all we can ask.
Back on. Let's get it.
Speaking of that, let's talk some Husker hoops. We'll start with the men, dedicate our next segment to the women. Huge win for them over Iowa. But Strick, a 20-point win for the Nebraska men's team over the Michigan Wolverines. First time Fred Hoiberg has beaten Michigan, only the fourth win over the Wolverines in program history, second in the Big Ten era. And it happened in dominating fashion. It was back and forth early. Nebraska led 9-7 before going on a 29-3 run. Again, ultimately winning that game by 20. They led by as much as 30. Michigan had that 12-2 run to end the first half. Nebraska kept them at arm's length. With a couple days of separation from that game, what are your key takeaways for this one for the Nebraska men?
One was the way that they came out and the way that they played. Another thing is the lineup, the way that they started that lineup. There was probably some questions going into it. I know we had talked about that. Austin had brought that up as well. And then we've talked off air about it, about how we felt about Josiah Allick starting the game, being that Michigan was very perimeter dominated, and how that would work for them, being that they shot so well in the previous game. So, but it looked to me that Nebraska was going with the Northwestern theme, and the way that they were going to attack that is make it an advantage for them instead of a disadvantage. And they went hard at Alec, and Alec was very aggressive early. But one thing that I could notice also, Austin, in watching Alec initially, was there was probably some limitations put on him. Like, you didn't see a lot of that handling up top with 4 or 5 dribbles. You saw the dribbles had intention to them. Shout out to Intentions, the movie that Stricky was in.
Yeah.
But
still free to watch.
Yeah, still free to watch on Tubi. But he had intention, as you saw when he went baseline, bang, bang, yunka dunka.
All over Terrace Reed.
All over his, head top all day long. Put a body on him and then put him to sleep like The Undertaker. So, yeah, I thought that was good. And there were some great things there. You know, obviously, Tamanaga got off to a good start. They got off to a good start for the most part. And I actually like that second unit.
Okay.
You know, that second unit. Jamarcus comes in. He comes in aggressive. He had a great assist to turnover numbers. Love the defense. And we talked about that at the game, the way that Hoiberg plays defense. He has an innate, similar to like my style, and an innate ability to understand angles, to understand counters, to understand where the offensive player is trying to get to take a shot, and he's able to be there to challenge or to make it difficult. Now, I saw that last year in him. This isn't new. This is something I saw in him last year. He did this very often when they had games where they needed to stop, and he was on whoever it was that was handling the ball. Fred Hoiberg's been great for that. I mean, obviously, CJ Wilcher's kind of been down a little bit, but teams are really been focused on him. And so you're seeing that they're making adjustments in how they're going at teams.
I think that Sam Hoiberg point is one we can talk about a little bit here too, because I think there are some people who would look at him and say, oh, he's just being annoying. Like, what is his actual skill on defense? He's not overly long. He's not overly tall, not bulky. But Strick, when you say that he has that innate understanding, he has that basketball sense about him, kind of sounds like we're talking about Brock Purdy on a basketball floor that knows the right play, that anticipates, is on time, on target. I feel like Sam Hoiberg has those defensive skills you're talking about. They're just harder to see with your eyes.
Yeah, because he doesn't like. Just think about it. I'm 6'3", 2 at high school. I mean, in college, I think I was played at 215, 218. So I'm an opposing physical, doing the things that Sam does.
Yeah,
he's doing the same types of things. It's just that he has his smaller stature. So he kind of comes across and he looks like a gnat.
Right.
Yeah. Like there's a difference between a fly and a gnat. Right. The fly is like, he's like, he's pesky. The gnat is annoying. So, but they come from the same stock. Right.
Yeah.
It's just one's a little bit smaller in stature than the other.
Fair enough.
You recognize the other one is more. So that's it, man. But Fred is but the thing I love about him is he understands his role. Not Fred, Sam.
Yeah.
But he understands his role. He understands what he's there to do, and he embraces it. And you saw it with the hustle play that he made, where he gets his hand on a deflection, the ball kind of trickles towards out of bounds, and that changes the intensity of the defense. Like, the defense went to when you get those type of things that happen, that defense on the other end, on the next couple of possessions, you saw Tamanaga and Gary, those guys getting real active. And that's what you want to have, those type of plays. Similar to Alec, when Alec had the dunk, it changes the momentum. And that's what they have to get.
And both of those plays were early on, really helping Nebraska set that tone and that big run, which is huge. Another aspect that's worth bringing up, Strick, is we talk about Nebraska's inconsistency in rebounding. Some games they've looked good at it, other games they haven't. Fred Hoiberg says that with Josiah Alec and Juwan Gary in the starting lineup, or even when they share the floor together, they should be better offensive rebounding as a team than they have been. Nebraska didn't win the offensive rebounding battle. They allow 18 from Michigan, but they pulled down 16 themselves, right? I think that's a testament to Alec and to Gary. Mass was in the right position here and there. Hoiberg tracked that one down. Nebraska doesn't have to be a great rebounding team, but I think Fred Hoiberg's onto something when he says, with those two guys, we can afford to have our guards drop back, send those two hard to the glass, and we can survive with that because he knows that they'll hustle back if they don't get the O board.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, Alec has to present himself and give reason to why he's out there. He did in this game against Michigan. Like, he showed by sparking early the group in the starting lineup. That's it. Just have some form of impact. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the scoring column, but in some defensive, rebounding, attacking, giving extra possessions, something. He can't have nights like he had the last night, because that's just, you're ineffective. You're like a shell. It reminded me of when Dennis Rodman came to the Mavericks for us, right? Dennis Rodman, if we got the Dennis Rodman that was with the Chicago Bulls, we probably make the playoffs that year. But we got the shell of Dennis, still rebounded, but defensively, remember we talked about working on a string? He was not, he was kind of in his own, like, we would have a game plan to blitz, meaning to trap the guard, but he wouldn't do it or half do it. And so we're expecting stuff, wasn't getting it. So we had to try to make up for it. And then he's not giving us what he gives you on the offensive side. So you're a liability more than you're a liability more than an asset. So, that's what Alec has to become, stay an asset and not a liability.
Wormer's still chewing his way through a leaf on defense sometimes.
Yeah. It was crazy.
So Nebraska,
we lost 10 games, bro. Like, we only missed the playoffs, I think, by 4. If we didn't have him, because we were rolling. We didn't have him that stretch. We probably make the playoffs that time. But that's what Alec can't be,
right,
when you play like he played when they were on the road. So,
and they stopped the darn plane for him.
Yeah, I'm still salty about that. How they left me and stayed
Not
for
Dennis.
him.
It's ridiculous. Nebraska streak reaches 17-8 overall. They're 7-7 in the conference right now. Good for, based on tiebreakers, they'd be in 7th place in the Big Ten conference, waiting for Iowa in the first round, and then whoever wins that game would play Illinois as things currently stand. Before we get to that, 17 wins, a new high water mark for Fred Hoiberg in his time at Nebraska. The team went 16-15 in the regular season last year, lost their first game in the Big Ten tournament to finish at 16-16. If Nebraska were to go over, say they end the regular season at 17-14, lose in the first round of the Big Ten tournament, I assume they'd still get an NIT bid, but Nebraska can't finish any worse than 500 anymore, right? Even if they get that NIT bid, lose their first game, they're still right at 500. Now, 6 games left to go in the regular season.
500 in conference?
Overall. Yeah. So I think, again,
that's the worst case scenario.
Right. If they lose everything the rest of the year, which, if that happens, that's a completely different conversation. I don't think that's going to happen with this team, but they reached a new high water mark under Fred Hoiberg. I get it. The postseason is yet to come, but Strick, we asked for this program to improve, to take a step forward from last year to this year. Even with 6 games to go, it's undeniable to say they've taken a step forward.
It's undeniable. You can't even fight it. Like, I know sometimes our expectations or the expectations of fans or those, they go to a whole nother level. I was having a discussion with some of the listeners and those who showed up for the Super Bowl event over at Buffalo Wings and Rings. And they were asking me similar type of questions. And I said, listen, it's one of the hardest things to do is to have a turnaround to where both aspects of your team, home and away, are on another level. It is the hardest thing to do, because it's easy at home to drum up energy because they help you. It's hard when you go on the road. And I'm over at Cluster's house, Kate Johnson's house, his house. And we're kind of talking about something similar. And I literally put my feet up and I was like, bump your couch. You got to want to go down in they living room, sit down. They have their stock of liquor. I'm not talking about the basics. I'm talking about the high price, VSOP, King Louis. I'm talking about top of the line wine. You got the Cristal, and you go in there and open up the best of that stuff. Sit down while they sit next to you and pour it right in their face and drink it. That's what you got to do on the road. And so they asked me about that, and I said, listen, I was a dog. I loved going on the road and looking at their best player and saying, yeah, you struggling tonight, my boy. You might give everybody tonight, you're gonna have a problem. Like that's how I win into games. That's how we win into games, right? It's tough for a team that's trying to change their mentality to do that in a year where it's been a shift. You're seeing the shift. It's tough. It's tough.
3 chances left to change that narrative: at Indiana, at Ohio State, and then at Michigan to end the regular season.
Places where you haven't done it.
No.
That's what you have to drum up. You have to drum that energy up. Dang, man, we're gonna do something that no one's done for Fred. You know what I'm saying? Like as a team, you got to do that. Fred should not have to come in there with his bicycle pump and pump your heads up. You should be able to go yourself as a player and start gassing each other up, saying, yeah, we about to go in there and bust AA. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, that's the way you got to feel about it. That's what they got to do, man.
Nebraska's had a couple at Assembly Hall. Been a minute since they've won there against an Indiana team that is pretty meh. They're 6-7 in the conference right now, a half game back of Nebraska, who has the tiebreaker over them. Ohio State is a game ahead of Michigan at the bottom of the conference at 4-9. And then Michigan, bottom of the conference, right? You've never won at the Chrysler Center. What better year, what better team to knock off some more of these streaks, right? The loss streak against Michigan State, against Indiana, streak without beating a number 1 team, which they did to Purdue. Why not end some of these road streaks, right? If you win 2 of these 3 road games, I think especially Ohio State and Michigan pretty much have to get them. But then, Strick, that turns our attention to the Big Ten tournament. If you've won a couple on the road, I think you feel a lot better going to Minneapolis for the Big Ten tournament because, you're on the road. Nebraska's 1-0 in neutral games this year up at Ohio State. But Nebraska shouldn't be scared of anybody below it, right? Nebraska most likely is going to play a team seated lower than it. You look who that would be. It would be Iowa right now is the matchup, who beat Nebraska right after Purdue, but I think Nebraska played exceptionally poorly that day. Maybe Maryland makes a run. You lost on the road there, but again, I don't think Maryland is as bad a matchup as Nebraska showed. Penn State, we'll see. Indiana, you will at least have split with, and Minnesota still comes to town, right? Those are probably the teams you're going to play in that first round of the Big Ten tournament, so go get one.
Minnesota, yeah, I agree. But there's such a hodgepodge. Like, if they can run off 2, take care of home, you're talking a whole different conversation. Because those 2 teams outside of, I want to say, Wisconsin, have tough roads. They have tough games still left. I mean, they have games that they literally could possibly lose. Especially Minnesota, they have a tough stretch. Michigan State has a pretty difficult stretch. I looked at their schedule. So Minnesota, here's what Minnesota has. Minnesota has Purdue next on the road. They're ahead of you. Rutgers at home.
Playing much better.
Ohio State at home. You could probably get them. Then you got to go to Nebraska, back that up on the road to Illinois, Penn State at home, Indiana at home, and then Northwestern. You've got potentially 4 losses right there in that group, right? So that can send them packing down to the bottom tier.
And if Minnesota goes 4-4, they're 10-10 overall in conference.
There you go, right? Michigan State took care of home, beat Illinois, go on the road to Penn State. Okay, you probably get that one. Go on the road. They've got an easy early stretch. Go on the road to Michigan. Then they get Iowa at home. Probably get that one. They get Ohio State at home. They've got a good 4-game stretch that they can run off some wins. But then they got to go Purdue, Northwestern, on the road, Indiana. So it's not, your earlies, you better bank them.
There it is again.
You put them in the bank. So that's what they're looking at. So I'm saying those teams ahead of you are not necessarily looking great. Let me look at Illinois real quick. Illinois' schedule is they're looking like this. Illinois coming down the stretch, home at Michigan, on the road at Maryland. Could be tough because they got size. On the road, could be tough. On the road, Penn State, not worried about that. Home, Iowa, probably get that one. Home, Minnesota, could probably get that. But then hit the road, Wisconsin, Purdue, and then on the road at Iowa. So you at Nebraska have one of the better stretches that if you take care of business, you go and do your road work, road warriors. Like I would literally, I would be playing road warrior on there.
24/7.
Mad Max, show me how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's going on, man. And that's what you're working with. That's what you're working against, Austin. So if you take care of business, you literally can go. Remember that? You don't even remember that game. It's called Frogger.
I know Frogger.
You remember Frogger?
It's tricky. I know Frogger.
Man,
Yeah.
You just cross the road, baby. You just got to dip to the right, get on the log, hop off before the alligators get you, and cross. That's all you got to do, baby. You got to play Frogger.
It's all on the table for Nebraska with 6 regular season games to go, and they're in what Fred Hoiberg called their bye week. They don't play again till Saturday. Use it to rest up. You mentioned in postgame, dangle the carrot of hard work. Give them a couple days off to get recovered for the stretch run, because it's all out there for this Husker team. Speaking of all out there, Husker women's basketball left it all on the court. They come back from 14 points down to beat Iowa. How'd they do it? How do we think Lisa Bluter handled it? And Caitlin Clark will dive into the Huskers win over number 2 Iowa next.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Nutrition Authority presents Activator. University studies have shown that Activator helps with building muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Activator is for male and females of all ages who want to look, feel, and perform their best. Activator can only be found in Nutrition Authority. Stop in, call, or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska, or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design. Take a computer course. Learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
A wise nation honors and learns from its past. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. February is Black History Month, a celebration of the contributions that African Americans have made to American history in their struggles for freedom and equality. Knowledge is our strongest tool against injustice. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're rolling right along hour one of On the Block. I'm Austin Norman, Erick Strickland to my left. Big weekend in Husker athletics. Softball down in Proto Vallarta salvaged the weekend. They end up going 2-2. They win their last two games down there. Another big weekend for Husker wrestling. That team doing its thing. But Strick, the defining win of the weekend, maybe of the entire tenure for this coach, Nebraska women's basketball against Iowa. It was a tight game at halftime. Iowa led it by only 4. But then the Hawkeyes do what they're known for, putting up 30 points in a quarter.
Since 2005, they haven't, they've matched a win against a number 2 foe.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was Baylor back in the day.
Baylor back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's big for this program, big for Amy Williams and the staff, the ladies. Recruiting is just, it's always good to have that. And listen, broke the record.
Mm-hmm.
Attendance.
Yeah.
Over 15,000.
Destroyed the record.
Showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And to do it in that type of fashion, to have that type of resilience, that type of heart, to could easily give up and give in.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about a piece of it, but the fact that they stayed resilient, Jazz Shelley started to go nuts and had a tremendous game for herself, and they ended up coming back and had another storm.
Mm-hmm.
It's been storming a lot here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I'm not talking about the snowstorms. There's been a lot of hot storms with a lot of rain of threes and great basketball there at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's dive into this aspect first. Nebraska down 14 points going into the fourth quarter, down 14 a minute and a half into the fourth quarter. And not just that, Strick. We've seen crazier comebacks than 14 points in 8.5 minutes, right? Like that's fine. But it's Iowa, a team that you haven't beat in 4 years. And not only is it Iowa, it's Caitlin Clark, who has gone nuts against you for 7 games in her career now. Caitlin Clark feels inevitable to really the whole women's college basketball world, but especially to this Nebraska program, who, yes, has gotten close a couple times, has kept it interesting, did a good job in the first half for the most part, but then Caitlin Clark really started going off in that third quarter again as Iowa scores 30 points. And Strick, kind of like the Mahomes effect that we'll talk about in hour 2, watching from a distance, it's, okay, good effort, Nebraska, you did what you could, but there's just going to be too much Caitlin Clark. She's just going to be too good. That's just how this movie goes. But a quick 8-0 run from Nebraska gets it back to 6-0 or 6-point game. There's legit game pressure on Iowa. In Strick, they collapsed. You heard their coach say, "Oh, we didn't prepare for a box and one." What? Like you haven't seen a box and one on Caitlin Clark before? I think it was coaching malpractice, even for Bluter to say that we wanted her to set the record at home instead of on the road. But I think that's a big credit, like you're saying, Strick, to Nebraska's resilience. Jazz Shelley hit the big shot. Markowski had a couple threes, shouted out her dad in the post-game press conference. But 2 freshmen, Strick, Logan Nisley, shot some missiles from long range, and Natalie Potts, co-Big Ten freshman of the week. 2 upperclassmen and 2 underclassmen step up. Resiliency up and down the roster.
All the way around. And see, what happens is you can get so complacent. And the complacency comes by way of, let me give you one example of how when the Chicago Bulls, the year that they had the 10 losses.
72-10.
72-10 before it was beaten by Golden State. They came into Reunion Arena. They're playing us. It's the Michael Jordan crew. It's all of them. They're very highly confident. They had a similar night to what Caitlin Clark and Iowa had in the third quarter. Went nuts. Shot 75% from the field, 66% from 3, and they, had 12 free throws, of which 0 they have in the fourth quarter, right? Then they put Jordan, they put Pippen, they put all of them on the bench. Coach, all of them went on the bench, right? Because they was like, I think they were up like 16 points going into the fourth. And they sit him down, and we got back in him and went at him. And then by the time they put them in again, it was too late. You know what I'm saying? We were rolling. Same thing happens with this Iowa situation. They're trying to preserve Caitlin Clark. They're trying not to let Caitlin Clark, who needs 8 more points, had 31 on the night, not let her get the 8 points here at Nebraska because they felt that they had it in the bag. Send them out so they can go back home and get it done in Iowa. Cost you.
Dearly.
Got out of flow. You got switched up on. The landscape of the game changed. So team gets hot, get confident at home. Next thing you know, you're in a dogfight. Just can't win the fight, unfortunately.
Fortunately for Nebraska.
Fortunately for Nebraska, but unfortunately for Iowa.
For Iowa. And I don't think there's a shot that emblemizes that any better, Strick, than the one that Clark took with 24 seconds on the clock. Try to do like a pick and roll dribble handoff action, like right in front of Iowa's bench. She lets it fly from the bank logo all the way out there. Cold, not in rhythm. That's a shot. Sure, maybe she can make it before, but that's a tough one in that time. In that situation, right? Caitlin Clark.
Time, situation, score.
Yes. And Caitlin Clark knows these things, right? She's a smart basketball player. She handles the rock. Darnier had a triple-double. I mean, 31, 10 assists, and then 8 rebounds. But, Strick, on your box score there's one stat that really, or 2 stats that stand out to me as to why maybe Caitlin Clark went 0 for 6. Obviously, coaching decisions, lineup, out of flow, plays a factor in that. But Caitlin Clark rested for 50 seconds of a 40-minute game when I think she's still leading Big Ten women's basketball in minutes played. Okay, so there's that at the end of a long season. And she drew 10 fouls. That's yes, some superstar calls in there, some flops, but you get hit 10 times like that. That's extra wear and tear on top of playing darn near the whole game. So yeah, I do think Iowa wants to get her the record at home, but I also think Iowa would have been just fine beating Nebraska on the road, letting Caitlin Clark be the villain. I think Nebraska was physical enough with Caitlin Clark throughout the course of the game. It wore her down by the end, maybe.
Yeah, I don't have a rebuttal against that. But what I will say is one thing that has hurt Nebraska in the past is rebounding. Similar to the men's. They got after Iowa on the offensive glass this game. They had more second chance points than them, 17-4.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean, when you're trying to make a comeback, that means you got to be aggressive. You got to be on the attack. They went on the attack and they hit the offensive glass to the tune of 14-8, winning by 7. I'm sorry, the 45-30, 45 to 7, 45-38. Great. That's what you got to do when you want to win games, because guess what it does? You have 73 shot attempts because you didn't turn the ball over. That's another problem that Nebraska's had in the past against Iowa. Dumb turnovers too. They didn't turn the ball over, but you have 73 shots to their 66. where you make 31 of them and they only make 30, and you shoot better percentage in both of those from 3 as well, and more free throws. You're just about as equal, but better percentage.
Make one more field goal, make one more 3, make one more free throw.
You win the game.
1 point, 2 point, 3 point.
Yeah.
Right there. Talk about differentials, right? With the men's team, the women's team here, absolutely. I mean,
that's it.
You turn the ball over less, you move the ball pretty well, I think, on aggregate for this Nebraska women's team. And it was up and down the roster, Strick. Like, Jazz Shelley's going to get the highlights and the accolades, and she absolutely deserves them. She hit the dagger, then ends up winning the game for Nebraska. That's huge. Markowski had a couple big threes. A capable shooter, not an elite shooter, made him when they needed him. Nisley stepped up. Potts, when Markowski was out, made some big plays. This was a huge win, I think, for this program, because it wasn't just on the back of one player, right? Credit Iowa. We know they're more than Caitlin Clark, but it still feels like the Caitlin Clark show. Tricky, she took 25 shots, only made 10 of them, 5 of 15 from 3, and missed 3 free throws, which she doesn't normally do. That's where I think Nebraska, especially in the last 9 minutes of the game, found something mentally that Iowa couldn't dig back into.
That's what it is. It was a mental game. That's what it is when you go on the road. It's a mental game.
And you can tell that, too, by the actions of Lisa Bluter post-game. You hear Markowski's answer, and you hear Bluter yelling at SID Jeff Greesh out in the hallway. We've gone through the timeline of this on Twitter, but if in case you're not on Twitter, don't know it, the game ended at 2:09. Nebraska didn't get to the podium until 2:26. Iowa still hadn't gone. In the protocols, the visiting team gets theirs first. They get out on the road, get to their hotel, get to the airplane, whatever. Iowa had 17 minutes to get to the podium and get done talking. They didn't show up. Jeff Greash, the SID, said, okay, when you show up, we'll give it to you, but you're not here yet. It's been this long. You should have been here by now. You had your chance. And Bluter just loses it. There's a hissy fit out in the hallway, and I get it. You're upset after a road loss, but to take it out on the other team's SID because you took too long in the locker room, because you're salty and you're stewing, that's not a good look, on top of the coaching malpractice you had in not being prepared at the end of the game.
That's a fact. But the thing is, when you got a talent like Caitlin Clark, it erases a lot of things that they're going to have trouble with when she exits.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. And if Lisa Bluter's frustrated and mad now, just get ready if you don't replace that individual, get ready for more frustration. Don't take it out on them. You better figure out how to win without it.
It's on you.
So it's going to be on you, coaching.
Tommy, thanks for chiming in. John and Cortland, thanks for chiming in. Ryan in Nashville says, yeah, at the end of it's a big win. It hurts Iowa, but did it really hurt Iowa? They'll still end up in the Final Four. She'll still break the record. Yes, it's delaying the inevitable, but just because it means less to Iowa than it means to Nebraska doesn't mean it's not a big deal, right? Nebraska needed a signature win. Nebraska needed to make a statement. It did. Yes, Caitlin Clark still went off for 31 points, which is more than she should score, right, against you, given how familiar you are with her. But she's really good. It felt inevitable that once she had 31 in 3 quarters, she could get 8 measly points in the fourth to rip Nebraska's heart out after they make it close again. But she didn't, right? So, yes, it doesn't mean a lot for Iowa. They'll be fine. She'll be fine. They'll move on. But I think this could mean everything for Nebraska, finally getting over that hump in the way that they were able to do it. The hope is that it sparks a run here through postseason play.
There it is. That's the hope. That's the hope. It just ignites a fire in you. It ignites the way that you practice. It ignites the way that you handle your business, whether it be at home or on the road. It's the focus that you have when you leave the confines of PBA and go somewhere else. There's a laser focus on the task at hand to get in, get the job done, and get the heck on out of there and go home. Yeah, so hopefully it ignites that. That's all you want. You hope that it lights a fire in that aspect.
Big Bird chimes in as well and says it also meant something to Iowa because they lost the top spot in the Big Ten for the time being. So, yeah, that's all fair to say. Nebraska women get another crack at number 2 on the road at Ohio State this week. Good luck to the Huskers as they travel out to Columbus. We want your Super Bowl commercials. The good, the bad, the funny, the ugly. Let us know. What were your favorites? What were your least favorites? We'll give a quick overview of the Super Bowl commercials to round out hour 1 of On the Block next.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
A wise nation honors and learns from its past. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. February is Black History Month, a celebration of the contributions that African Americans have made to American history in their struggles for freedom and equality. Knowledge is our strongest tool against injustice. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we're expecting mainly sunny skies and an afternoon high around 50. Tonight, increasing cloud cover is expected with a low around 31. And tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies in the morning, becoming mainly sunny. In the afternoon, we'll see a high around 53. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska, or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design. Take a computer course. Learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Coppell. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Coppell. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at CoppellCars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G2076684.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of February. Get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. When we're looking out for a homeowner, we're always keeping their budget in mind. Let's put numbers together and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time in hour one of On the Block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you here. Super Bowl commercials, 402-464-5685 or on stream. Thanks again to Sartor Heyman for sponsoring our video streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Leave a comment and we'll get to it here. Stricky, overall, out of 5 stars, how many stars do you give on aggregate, the Super Bowl commercial rundown? Good year, bad year, mid-year?
To me, it's a bad year. The creativity, there's a few I think that were pretty cool, but the creativity is not like it used to be, man. There was some, to me, it was some garbage. it was just a couple of them. You're like, what? Oh, that's dumb. But then there are a few that, were just kind of funny, but it's crazy how, to me, it looks as if there's such a downtime in the movie industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the SAG, you had the
writer's strike.
The writer's strike. Yeah, there's a lot. And it was like they were trying to reintroduce the industry back to your face. Because I think some of those commercials are best when it's just normal people, regular people, just doing something regular in life. And then you interject whatever the marketing into the product that you're trying to offer. But it just seemed like they were trying to throw a bunch of stars at you. But to me, it was a bunch of falling stars for the most part. But I think there were still a couple of good ones that were out there.
What were those?
I would probably say the Beyonce one.
Okay.
I thought that was actually pretty creative, where you're talking about BOTUS and, you're trying to break the internet and you have Lemonade and she's trying to figure out different ways in which she can break the internet. And then you're on the Sphere and, just all the things that was interjected into that. And then Beyonce AI.
Yeah.
Now that was kind of cool. That was kind of funny. I thought that was a good one. Another one I think that was pretty cool, I would say, was I like the Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck joint.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was a play on relationships, kind of, right?
Mm-hmm.
You stepped into her realm, into there trying to add your thing, your mix on the Dunkin' Donuts, and that's the name of your. And then it was funny because you had DJ Tom Brady. I thought that was pretty cool on the keys, right? And then
Matt Damon.
Yeah, right. But then they're like, get up. We talked about this, the relationship part of it, and then at the end, it was kind of like, Tom, you can stay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Hello.
Right? So there's some. I thought that one was pretty cool, and then I think Uber Eats kind of hit a nice mark.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did.
The Boston Dunkin' Donuts Ben Affleck one was probably my favorite of the year. The Uber Eats one maybe drug on like 1 or 2 scenes too long for me. Overall, like I like what they were going for. You had enough of the stars, but enough of the regular people as well. I'll give that one. That's like a 7.5 out of 10 for me.
I think BMW missed it.
Fair.
What you think?
Yeah, Volkswagen was for theirs. I haven't been impressed with a car commercial in a long time, Stricky.
Yeah. They've missed the mark in a lot of ways, I think.
LL Cool J on the Core Silver Bullet. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I thought that was Yeah.
It's
I
okay.
thought it worked. I thought it worked. Mm-hmm.
Who was the Dan Levy and Heidi Gardner in the homes.com one? Again, just like 10% extra. If they tone it down a little bit, it would have been fine. I think this is just one or two steps too far.
That's what I'm saying. It was like it was trying to really throw it out like really hard at you, and I think it missed. I think it missed on some of them. Some of them were cool though, but I think a few of those missed. What do you think about the Jennifer Hudson and Common, the T-Mobile one?
I can't say I remember it.
No, so it was a real life relationship. So what happened in it? Was it the Jason Momoa one? Remember?
Yeah.
Where he was he started singing, it came in, and then
I'm with you now.
Yeah. I thought that was okay.
It's
The
fine.
Jason Momoa one was pretty cool.
Chris Pratt is the Mr. Pringles guy. I liked that one.
You like that one?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not mad at it. What about you guys?
Let's get to the text line. So Augie says the Carl Weathers one, that's where Gronk missed the field goal. They have the tribute to Carl Weathers at the end. Tough, because I'm sure he was a bigger part of their commercial. Then with his passing, I think they had to change some stuff up. Thomas and Lincoln says, bad overall. You like the Paramount Plus commercial where they throw the kid? Okay. What do you think about the messy beer one?
That one I can't remember.
He's kicking the football on the beach in between while he's waiting for the server to go get another keg to pour.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Okay.
I must have been driving on that one.
Big Bird says he liked Bet MGM. It's for everyone except Tommy Brady. You've won enough.
Okay.
Notorious BIB says, I would refer to most of the Super Bowl commercials as flaming garbage.
I said the same thing. I agree.
Barbecue Analyst says, the best Super Bowl commercial was Kawasaki, Stone Cold Steve Austin with a mullet.
No, that's hilarious. I didn't get to see that one.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one, but that's, just the picture in my head that comes up on that one's funny.
And Tommy says the Baja Blast commercial was perfectly ridiculous. The Parks and Rec reunion sold me on it. I saw the start of that commercial online, but I didn't see it during the game. That's one I have to go back and find.
Yeah, I might have to go look at that one as well. Yeah, because the thing is during some of those commercials, they turned them off while we were in there. We didn't get to see and get the full grasp of all of them.
Jake Sorensen stealing the show again.
Yeah, Jake Sorensen had the mic, and we're giving stuff away, so it was cool. But at the end of the day, we didn't get to see all of them in their full context.
0278 says, did the Duncan commercial have a sneak diss at A-Rod with Affleck saying something about pinstripes? Yeah. Yes, he said something about pinstripes on his way out the door. I missed the full comment, but yes, that was
diss.
in there.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Let us know your thoughts on the Super Bowl now. That's the commercials. If you have any final thoughts on that, let us know. Chiefs fans, now's your time. We're talking about the Chiefs first, their side of the Super Bowl, how they were able to complete another double-digit comeback. Patrick Mahomes, Harrison Butker, all the key players there in between. Niners fans or Chiefs haters, you'll have your time at 3:30. Give us your thoughts on Super Bowl 58 on the text line or on the stream. We'll get to your thoughts and ours as we kick off hour 2 of On the Block after this.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Erick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. They encourage those who go out to make smart decisions behind the wheel or plan accordingly to have someone lined up for a safe ride home. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Erick Services, your vending specialist here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Erick Services, on the air because they care.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we're expecting mainly sunny skies and an afternoon high around 50. Tonight, increasing cloud cover is expected with a low around 31. And tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies in the morning, becoming mainly sunny. In the afternoon, we'll see a high around 53. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckert for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
A wise nation honors and learns from its past. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. February is Black History Month, a celebration of the contributions that African Americans have made to American history in their struggles for freedom and equality. Knowledge is our strongest tool against injustice. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
That's the final call from Kevin Harlan on Westwood One Sports. You heard that right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Kansas City wins the Super Bowl 25-22 over the San Francisco 49ers. I'm Austin Norman, joined as always by Erick Strickland during On the Block, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Not open today or tomorrow. Check them out starting Wednesday down at 29th and Pine Lake. Stricky, first of all, before we get into the matchup itself, the matchups within the matchup, overall 25-22 game that went to overtime. Out of 5 stars, how many stars does this game get for you?
It was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I remember standing on the block. I expected it to be 24-21. It was one off on each side.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was well played. Here's what's interesting to me though, right? Before, I want to say, didn't the Jets do Hard Knock this year?
Yes.
The Jets?
Mm-hmm.
They had the Mentalists on there, right? Guess who they were talking to when the Mentalist was basically having a Super Bowl discussion about who would be in the game?
Ooh.
McCole Hardman. I look, I ain't gonna say nothing. I just saying I find it interesting that he happens to be the one that makes the catch that seals the day. And he was with the Jets. They talked about them being in the Super Bowl. They're not. He is. He's talking to the Mentalist, and he happens to make the catch. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's interesting.
Script writers pulled it out again.
Hey,
you're not saying? I'll say it for you. How about that?
Paramount Films. Chiefs versus 49ers. Can you believe it?
You can believe it. Chiefs found a way to get it done. Let's dive into some aspects for the Chiefs here, Strick.
Yeah.
First of all, down double digits in the Super Bowl again. They were there the last time they faced off with the 49ers in the Super Bowl. They found a way to come back in the fourth quarter. Not down double digits in the second half. They found a way to get on the board. And, like every comeback, it took some luck. It took San Francisco making some mistakes. But, Strick, you look at the muffed punt. Kansas City gets right on the board after that one play later. Kansas City, I think, felt San Francisco out early on and then really put the game in Mahomes' hands, right? Super Bowl MVP for the third time, completely deservedly so, if you ask me. But I think the big key to that too, Strick, was it wasn't just Mahomes, but Kelsey came alive in the second half. 92 of his 93 yards in the second half, didn't have a touchdown. But Mahomes to Kelsey, the one pairing that San Francisco couldn't let beat them, came alive in the second half.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting as well. I mean, he had been shut down, like you said, pretty much throughout the game. But when they needed him, when they needed a big play, he was there. And listen, I'm not even going to talk about that part of it, because in all actuality, it was Chris Jones that saved him. Like, if Chris Jones doesn't do what Chris Jones does and gets in the face of Purdy, the time he got into the face of Purdy, they who was it? Jennings.
Yeah.
Jennings won the route.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be an easy touchdown.
Walk in.
Mm-hmm. So if it wasn't for Chris Jones, I personally, I think that's over.
To that point, Chris Jones had the highest pass rush win rate in the Super Bowl of players with among 10 snaps. He won 21% of his pass rush snaps. George Karlaftis next on that list at 17%. Mike Dana for the Chiefs down at 11%. The Chiefs didn't get pressure all game, Strick, but there are 2 plays that the defense got pressure on, and they might have been the 2 biggest plays in winning Kansas City the Super Bowl, aside from the walk-off touchdown. The 2-minute warning, 3rd and 4, McDuffie comes on that corner blitz, gets in Purdy's face, gets a hand on it, incomplete pass. And then that snap that you're talking about, miscommunication by the offensive line. You let Chris Jones, of all players, sneak through the offensive line unblocked. I don't put that on Purdy, right? Chris Jones bearing down on you. You have to get that ball out quick. You can't afford to take a sack, right? Throw it up, give your guy a shot at it. Jennings broke out. Purdy threw it to the back of the end zone. Credit Steve Spagnuolo, credit that Kansas City defense for dialing up the pressure and executing it the way they needed to in maybe the 2 biggest snaps of the game.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it was big plays made. And listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm not even going to be upset and mad by any means at Purdy.
We'll get to that next segment too.
Like and I know we're going to talk about it, but there's no way I can do it because he did what he was supposed to do in that instance. I mean, he handled himself. He put them in position. He made the plays, and they got the job done. So, well, just say he got the job done as far as, what was asked of him. But you got to give a shout out to you can't leave Mahomes with that kind of time.
No,
you just can't do it.
Even 13 seconds was too much for Buffalo. Minute 50 was always going to be too much. Well, we're on the topic of the defense here, Strick. During this postseason, Kansas City beat the number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 6 scoring offenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
Over 4 games against 2, 3, 4, and 6, Kansas City's defense allows only 63 points. What an evolution for this team and this franchise to go from offense first, gunslinger, space age stuff to we are going to put this game on our defense just to hang around. Take the body blows, dish a few out yourselves, get us to the 10th round where we can finally trust Mahomes to deliver the knockout.
Man, and listen, I think it was a big shout out to their DBs. Their DBs were they flat out played their butt off. I mean, I know it was between the defensive line and the DBs, they were right there. And whenever the DBs maybe gave up a little space, all of a sudden, the defensive line shows up for them. So all the way around, it was just one of those things, man, that you just had to, give a shout out to, heads up. There's something that I did have, but I'm hoping I can find it. Gosh darn it. Man, I hate that. There was some numbers that I'm hoping I can find because it'll blow your mind if I can track it down. There were some numbers here, and I think I might have it. Here we go. Let's see if this is it.
Well, you got the numbers?
Go ahead.
Okay, while you're finding your numbers, I got some for you here. Back on the offense, Patrick Mahomes specifically. Patrick Mahomes has been a starting quarterback in the NFL for 6 years, Strick. He has more Super Bowl wins than 22 NFL franchises.
Wow.
Patrick Mahomes is
himself.
Yes. Patrick Mahomes is the 3rd winningest quarterback in the postseason already. Brady's got 35 wins. Montana has 16. In 6 years, Patrick Mahomes has 15 playoff wins. Insane. You look at that, he's the first player in the American Big Four history to win championship MVP in 3 of his first 7 seasons. Insane. We had the Brady Mahomes debate last week. Okay, that's a podcast. You can go find it. How about this, Strick? Mahomes has 5,100 postseason passing yards in before turning 30. Before he was 30, Brady had 3,200. Mahomes 41 touchdowns, Brady 20. Mahomes 8 interceptions, Brady 9. Both guys won 3 Super Bowls before they turned 30. Mahomes added an extra Super Bowl MVP 3-2. Oh, and he's only 28. He's not 30. He's still got 2 years to expand his lead on Brady in those numbers. You look at what he did in overtime, Strick. 8 for 8, 27 or more rushing yards, right? The only NFL quarterback in 30 years to go 8 for 8 or better with 27 rushing yards on any drive in the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh, and he did that in overtime of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's different.
He's built different. Yeah, I got these numbers. You ready? This is what's going to blow you away. 2020. Let me just, I'm going to go 2020 to 2024. We're talking 4-year difference, right?
Okay.
Chiefs 49ers in the Super Bowl 2020, 2024. So when I say one, I'm going to say the other.
2021 and 24?
Right.
Okay.
2024, Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. Okay. 2020, Lamar Jackson wins MVP. 2024, Lamar Jackson is favorite to win MVP.
Just did.
And won it.
Hello.
Ravens win the AFC North. Ravens win the AFC North.
Hello.
Texans win the AFC South with 10 wins. Texans win the AFC South with 10 wins. Chiefs win the AFC West. Chiefs win the AFC West. Now I'm going to go in fast succession so you know what in AFC West. Chargers last in AFC West. Washington last in NFC East with 13 losses. Washington last in the NFC East with 13 losses. Panthers last in NFC South. Panthers last in NFC South. Now, just know when I say this, from now on, I'm just going to say one. Just know that it's the same on the other. Okay? Cardinals last in NFC West. Chiefs are the home team. 49ers are the number 1 seed. Billie Eilish won Song of the Year. Billie Eilish won Song of the Year. Chiefs plus 600 preseason odds to win Super Bowl. Okay? 49ers beat the Packers in the playoffs. Bruins and Maple Leafs finish top 5 in the East. Avalanche win second in the West. Celtics and Bucks win top 3 in the East. Nuggets finish third in the West. And the Nuggets are currently third in the West. Number 1 seed wins college football playoff.
Yep.
2 undefeated teams play in the college football playoff.
Yep.
Loser of the college football playoff lost by 3 scores. Joel Embiid has surgery to repair left hand.
Left knee.
Panthers fire Ron Rivera after a loss.
Fire Frank Reich.
Commanders fire Ron Rivera after a loss. Winner of the Citrus Bowl scored 35 points. I'm just saying.
It's like deja vu all over again, Tricky.
Is this a form of what they call it, the Mandela effect? I don't know. I'm just saying. It's kind of weird.
Kind of creepy.
It's creepy.
It's
kind of kooky. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and
spooky.
The Hookie, the Addams Family. Da-na-na-na. 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 Kooky. What you think about that, folks? 402-464-5685. Is it creepy? Is it kooky to you? I just think it is.
David Fullerton says Kelsey comes alive after beating up his coach on the sideline.
Oh.
What do you make of that interaction between Kelsey and Reed?
Yeah, that was wild. You better win the Super Bowl after that, my boy. There's going to be a discussion. Now we can all, laugh about it. But if you ever see a meme come through with that, just know Stricky's serious about business.
What's going on? Fair enough. Yeah. So Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP, deservedly so, right? Balled out, especially in overtime, gets a lot of the headlines for the Chiefs. But Strick, on the low, Harrison Butker had a shot at it, right? Moody kicks the Super Bowl record length field goal earlier in the game.
Crazy.
Butker one-ups him after a bad snap, right? There were a couple plays the Chiefs had bad snaps. The last play,
the ball was down on Mahomes.
Yep, he had to pick it up and finally got it to Hardman. He threw that incompletion on a snap around his ankles as well that threw the timing of the play off. And on Butker's 57-yard field goal, Townsend had to snag that thing. That was up by his face, right in front of his face. To get it there, to get it down in time, to not throw off Butker's rhythm.
And spin the laces.
Spin it and everything.
Sheesh.
Like, credit Tommy Townsend for that, who had a pretty darn good day punting the ball. Overall, I'm trying to get to the stats here real quick. Yeah, Tommy Townsend on the day, 5 punts, 254 yards. That's 50.8 yards per punt. Exactly the same as Mitch Wishnowski. 5 punts, 254 yards, 50.8 yards per punt. But Townsend's hold Butker, that ball might have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, just snuck over, just got over that crossbar. Harrison Butker had himself a day, 4 for 4. The Super Bowl record, makes the extra point. If he had to kick a field goal to walk off the Super Bowl, he would have been my pick for MVP.
Yeah, man. Listen, I agree, because that was a huge day for him. Shout out to them, man, getting the job done, doing what they're supposed to do. And you can tell the difference of being inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. Ryan in Nashville says Mahomes looked awful for most of the day. I don't think so.
I just think that the D was good.
Yeah, the offense was out of sync, but I don't think that was Mahomes' fault. The interception was bad. Either he overthrew Kelsey or wildly underthrew, I think it was Valdez-Scantling, who was deeper. That was bad. But on the whole, I don't think Mahomes played that poorly. I think Kansas City finally put the ball in his hands the second half. I think the offensive line stepped up in the second half. I don't think anyone on Kansas City played that well in the first half. I don't think that was on Mahomes.
Well, I've got to say that it was one of those things where I can tell you, like in one instance, they had a stunt which gave up outside contain, which allowed them to get a first down. That was Chase. I don't know if he was supposed to do that, but that whatever that stunt was opened up the whole left-hand side, and he was able to clear and get through. But he used his legs effectively at the end of it, because the whole night they kept him in the pocket. They didn't let him find any angles and any space. And so great coverage and all of that. It was, unfortunate. At the end, he was able to use his legs effectively to put themselves in a position to win. Big first down by using the legs as well.
And Kansas City did what San Francisco didn't do, right? San Francisco took the points with a field goal after its first drive there. Kansas City, when it was faced with 4th and short strick, kept the ball in Mahomes' hands, right? They had that little option, right? So Mahomes either flip it to Kelsey if the guy commits to him. Defender stayed with Kelsey, so Mahomes takes off and runs with it. And then I think it was that very next play, they run quarterback draw, set up by running that same kind of extended stretch handoff a few times. But again, in the big moments, they keep the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hand. That's gutsy to run your quarterback that you don't like to have run because of how valuable he is. But that's a huge credit, I think, to Andy Reid understanding the moment and knowing that, 3, maybe 4 guys were touching the ball. Mahomes, Kelsey, Rice, and Pacheco, who I want you to talk about Pacheco for a sec, Strick. Kansas City gets down to the red zone. He fumbles. Not his best day yardage-wise, but I thought Pacheco, for still a young player, really responded well as the game went on.
Yeah, I mean, that mentally you could have had just a major letdown and lost yourself and lost your way in that in one of the biggest games that can happen to you. But he still ran like freaking monster. And listen, so did McCaffrey, man. I mean, both of those guys ran like they were possessed, and it was good for both teams that they were able to get it done. I really thought this would have been a big game for Kittle. Got injured, unfortunately, but he was huge in the blocking scheme. But then you lose him late, so you're not able to get him in a couple of situations where you could have used his blocking because of the injury to his shoulder. Then Debo kind of pulls up with something. I don't know if it was a hamstring, a cramp, or whatever it was. That hurts them. And, just Snead on Ayuk throughout the night just was tough. They weren't able to, I thought it would have been a good night for both Kittle, as I thought Rashee Rice would have. He came up with a few big catches, but I thought he would have had a bigger night. I thought this would have been the night for him.
I think Charvarius Ward played pretty darn well, right? He was on the other side of this game in 2020. Now he's with the Niners. I think he was on Rice most of the night. Did a pretty good job on him, all things considered. Couple final things to wrap up the segment. 113 career starts now for Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs have more wins by 14 than total losses. They have more wins by 30 points than losses by 10 points. And they have more Super Bowl rings than losses by 20 points. Insane. At his worst, the Chiefs are competitive for Patrick Mahomes. At his best, they're untouchable. I want to throw this to you too. Justin on the YouTube stream, thanks for chiming in there, Justin. BJ as well. Justin says, Eric, all this proves is that well-run organizations win and the chaotic organizations continue to fall. Kansas City's well-run, But I think it's unfair to call San Francisco chaotic.
Agree.
Do you agree?
I agree. That's where it kind of misses me. I don't know. I don't see them as a chaotic. I think John Lynch and that crew do a great job. I don't see it being a chaotic organization. I think they have more weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Patrick Mahomes is one to show that he's broke the mold.
Mm-hmm.
The mold of usually has to be someone coming off rookie scale. And he's making big dollars, and yet they're still able to get it done with the Valdez scandaling and just finding a Pacheco and a Rashee Rice, and you still know who your big guy is, and he gets it done for you to get you there, and you find a way. They've been able to hold it together on the defense, been able to keep Chandler Jones, which they didn't know for sure that they were going to be. Chris. Gosh darn it, yes, Chris Jones. I didn't know for sure if they were going to feel that they were going to be able to do that, but then they've drafted well and they found good guys, and it's helped them when you couldn't keep the Honey Badger, but you replace them, and they've and the only other organization that I've been able to see that do that has been the Patriots, and they're the new Patriots right now.
Chiefs are certainly on their way to that. A lot of work left to be done. Chiefs just completed, again, according to the regular season stats entering the postseason, the Chiefs faced the hardest schedule of teams in the postseason of anyone all time, just percentage points ahead of the 2007 Giants, who knocked off those very same Patriots that you're talking about there, Strick. Let's flip the script to the 49ers. Did they make the right or wrong decision to get the ball first in overtime? Should they have won the game in regulation? Lots to talk about on the Niners side of this. We'll throw it to break really quick. Keep our Super Bowl conversation going on the other side.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Monday, February 12th versus the Grand Rapids Rise at the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 5 p.m. with first serve at 6. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Erick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. They encourage those who go out to make smart decisions behind the wheel or plan accordingly to have someone lined up for a safe ride home. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Erick Services, your vending specialist here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Erick Services, on the air because they care.
A wise nation honors and learns from its past. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. February is Black History Month, a celebration of the contributions that African Americans have made to American history in their struggles for freedom and equality. Knowledge is our strongest tool against injustice. Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Hey, it's Chad with the Nutrition Authority, inviting you to stop in and check out the all-new complete post-workout recovery, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today and try a free sample or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we're expecting mainly sunny skies and an afternoon high around 50. Tonight, increasing cloud cover is expected with a low around 31. And tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies in the morning, becoming mainly sunny. In the afternoon, we'll see a high around 53. I'm meteorologist Kyle Kleckert for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, Southwest Iowa, and northern Kansas. Find out how we heal hearts with heart, starting with yours at chihealth.com/heart.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals, located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland with you. Half an hour left in this show before we turn it over to Jay Foreman for Old School. A couple of things to get to here. First of all, on YouTube, Strick Justin, who we just replied to, said he was talking about in your comparisons for 2020 and 2024. The good organizations are still on top. The chaotic ones are still losing.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarity on that, Justin. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that, Justin. On the text line, then, a couple things to get here. We have John in Cortland who says, sounds like Austin has a mad man crush on the Chiefs. Jumping out of Indy. No, sir. I am still a Colts fan, but Mahomes is great. Mahomes is fun. I don't know if I said this at some point last week. I'm sure it came up, but I'll reiterate it here. I enjoy watching the Chiefs. I've enjoyed watching their evolution in the same way that I enjoyed the Hamptons 5 Warriors, right? Yeah, they were unfair. Absolutely. But that's part of the fun, right? That was greatness for me. That was the best basketball team of my era. Not of all time. I'm not saying that, but that's some of the most fun I've had watching basketball, watching that offensive system, watching KD play small ball 5 or some 4 with Draymond at the 5. I'm in the boat of appreciate greatness. What Mahomes is doing is basically unprecedented. I'm not about to be a hater. Yeah. There's some Chiefs fans that annoy me jumping on the bandwagon that, came up from nothing, maybe a little bit too quick for their own good. But I think the Chiefs are fun to watch, and I'm not going to begrudge them their success. That's where I'm at with it.
Well, let me say it from this perspective, right? The league is in search because where do you feel quarterback play resides from top to bottom in the NBA? There's a huge gulf. There's a huge gap between elite quarterbacks and regular. Some of the ones that have had success in the NFL this year, to me, are still mediocre. To include your Tuas, to include your Jalen
Hurts and the Eagles.
Hurts, to include Herberts, to include
Lawrence and the Jags fell off a little bit.
Yeah, right. There's a big gulf between elite as far as the consistency. Yes, I think Josh is good. I think he's kind of teetering on being elite. We've obviously didn't get a chance to see the consistency of Joe Burrow. There's still a lot to the jury's still out on some of these guys, right? So there's a big gulf. Patrick Mahomes is elite. I don't even think Lamar Jackson's elite. I think he's a great quarterback because of just his giftings and the things that he can do, right? I think across the board, we haven't had that big of gulf in a while. And so the fact that Mahomes won it again, it just puts him in an elite category that people are going to have to step up and fill in the gap, fill in the gulf. And who's that? I don't know. Is it going to be the newcomers? Is it going to be, some of the old guard guys that are there? Does Aaron Rodgers see he's on the way out? The NFL has somebody. They have, now he's not Tom, I'm not saying he's Tom Brady yet, but I'm saying they have their Tom Brady type to promote, to push, but they need to raise up a few more because they need to make the games fun, interesting. The matchups again need to be revamped because let's be honest, Mahomes, Tua, you're looking at Mahomes all day long, right? Even though Miami Dolphins are a great team, you're still looking at Mahomes because when it comes down to it, if he has the ball, who do you trust more in a 2-minute?
Mahomes.
You're going to trust Mahomes more. So that's why I say they need to raise their bars.
The text line is hitting on a lot of what I want to get to here, Strick. So we're just going to use the text line here to transition into some of these. Well, Huskers P saying it's rigged. Okay, we've kind of been over that. OGCJ, stay tuned. 49ers, will they be close to being the same team next year with new contracts and salary caps? Both the Chiefs and the 49ers have a lot of interesting decisions to make. I think that's worth diving into later in the week. Ryan in Nashville. So is Debo falling off or has the McCaffrey addition taken away from him? He feels like the 49ers don't use Debo Samuel as much with McCaffrey around.
Look, I still think I think McCaffrey's a better version. I'm just going to be honest. I like what Debo does and his versatility. I still think you should use it. You can use it in creative ways, jets and different types of things you can throw out, even put them back there together at times. I think there's a lot of different things. But listen, I'm going to be honest. They're one of the only teams to me that have that old school Emmitt Smith type, lineup where the use check is used the way that a real traditional fullback should be used, and they use him well. And I like that part of them. I still think they're physical. Now, like you said, there's got some decisions that are going to have to be made. The beautiful thing is they ain't got to worry about paying. They ain't got to make the crazy hard decisions until they figure out what to do with Purdy. But again, Purdy did his thing.
He was fine. He's not the reason they lost.
He is not the reason. And so, get off of his back. He put them in a position. You just left too much time for one of the best quarterbacks to be able to either put them in a game to go overtime or to win the game. That's just unfortunate how it came down. Now, the dumbest boneheaded move, and this is what kind of gives me the ooh.
Let him have it, Stricky.
The bonehead move, you win the freaking coin toss and you take the ball first. What? Who in God's green earth do you ever do that? That's why I'm like, wait a minute now. There's some shaky out here. It's real funny. It's real spook. It's creepy and it's kooky, mysterious and spooky, all together hooky. It was very kooky. Why do you? In what way do you ever do that? It made no sense. You're gonna get the ball back anyway. What? Tell me or break me down. And you guys on the Sauter Heyman text line, break me down if you can. Help me to understand why you take the ball first in that situation.
Okay. I'm going to preface this off with I defer. I take the ball second in the situation. Okay, that's where I'm coming from. Even with the new rules, right, where both teams get a possession, I take the ball second. What Kyle Shanahan said his rationale was for, it wasn't I forgot. The players said they didn't know the overtime rules were different, and that's a whole different issue, right? That's coaching. How do you not know? You. No, I'm kidding. Clearly the players weren't prepared for it. And that's a problem. But Kyle Shanahan seemed to, in the post game, understand the decision he was making. His thought process, Strick, is this. His offense has scored the last 2 drives. He feels good about that. But he's been in this situation before. He knows he's going against Patrick Mahomes, who is on a heater in the second half. He knows his defense is struggling to stop Kansas City. They figured some stuff out. So not only does Kyle Shanahan have faith in his offense to put points on the board and put Kansas City in a tough spot, he knows who he's going against. He's seen this movie before, and I think he wants to put that game pressure on the Chiefs, right? Put points on the board, make them score, see if our defense can get a stop. Barring that, both teams score. Kyle Shanahan says he was planning for a third possession. He felt good in his offense scoring. He thought that the Chiefs, would have a pretty good chance of scoring. So then once both teams have a possession and the score's tied, it's sudden death. So Kyle Shanahan was planning on that third possession where he gets the first crack at sudden death.
Oh, okay.
Right or wrong, again, I'm in the camp of you still kick, right? Know what you have to do to match or exceed. If Kansas City scores a touchdown and they kick the extra point to go up 7, that's where you make your decision of, do we keep playing and give them the crack at sudden death first, or do we go for 2 in the win right here, right now? That's a different discussion. Where I think Kyle Shanahan went right was he didn't strictly follow the numbers, right? He wasn't just analytics say to do this. We're in our zone. We're going to robot our way to a Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan, I think, took the pulse of his team, knowing the offense had been playing slightly better than the defense, knowing the defense was gassed after that last minute and 50-second drive. Maybe he wanted to get his offense the ball first to give them a breather, whatever. But I also think that he just looked too far ahead, right? He kind of galaxy brained himself a little bit, where I can understand the rationale if it gets to sudden death, but the goal should be to not get to sudden death, right? Mm-hmm. Against a hot quarterback, against a defense that had your number most of the second half until late, find a way to end the game as soon as possible. The way to end that game as soon as possible is to not let Mahomes have the ball last, right? I know San Francisco had that kneel down snap, but Kansas City essentially had the ball last in regulation. They had the ball last at the end of the first half. They go down, they get points. They had the ball to start the second half and to end the second half. Mahomes went down and gets points. Especially against the Chiefs, you have to do everything in your power to make sure you get that last possession. Mm-hmm. Kyle Shanahan, I think that was his thought process, but he thought one possession too far ahead, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think he got caught up in the moment, which I think would have been a good time for him to say, hey, let's go win this game right now instead of play it out further down the line.
Good breakdown.
How's that?
I mean, okay. I understand it. I mean, that's one thing I am. I'm not a biased thinker. I'm able to step outside of it and take a perspective on it. Okay, I can understand the perspective on it, but I fall in the category of I'm not giving this guy a possession behind me. Mm-hmm. If we fall short in any way, and that's what they did. They literally came at him. And they came at him at the right time, and they came at him with the right guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chris Jones. He saved him. He saved him. I mean, they took him down. They went down. They were on the verge. They probably would have scored if Chris Jones doesn't save him. He saved today.
Yeah, he did. I'm with you on that. A couple other notes to get to here before we bring Jay Foreman in. Brock Purdy targeting Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. 8 of 20 for 86 yards.
Not good.
Woof. You thought Kittle was going to have a big game. I thought it was out there on the table for him as well. 2 catches for 4 yards. And you notice that shoulder you were talking about, not the same blocker at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. Ayuk had a couple catches in the middle of the game, but basically a non-factor. They weren't giving your boy Deebo the ball. Andy came up a little bit gimpy there. But even that aside, to me, Strick, it was the Greenlaw injury when he goes down to the Achilles that I think helped free
Yeah.
Kelsey, because that gave Werner some more responsibilities. And special teams. You muff the punt after you get a stop, and you have an extra point blocked.
Well, pause on there. Let's stay right there on that one. Why the heck are you trying to pick the ball up and run? Fall on the freaking ball.
First on the floor.
Oh my gosh, it was some bonehead stuff going on out there. You try to pick what are you going to do in that situation? At that point, it's dead.
Well, think about what Valdez-Scantling did, right? Had an 8-yard catch, ran backwards for 14 yards, -6. Kansas City made its way out of it, but San Francisco gave Kansas City the ball on the San Francisco 16-yard line by trying to get cute.
Yep, there you go. It was some boneheaded stuff going on out there, but still was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even with the boneheaded plays, I still think it was that was great coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I thought defensive coordinators did great.
Mm-hmm. Especially that first
with what they were working with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, I thought overall it was good.
To that point on the DCs here, really quick, McCaffrey would have been probably the Super Bowl MVP. I assume if San Francisco would have won it, I would have gone with Juwan Jennings for the touchdown catch, the touchdown pass. But McCaffrey did more damage through the air than on the ground. Saw this from Warren Sharp on Twitter. Kansas City had the number 28 ranked run defense in the NFL. McCaffrey averaged 3.6 yards per carry. That's below average for him, below average for, a good, solid NFL running back. That 3.6, Strick, his lowest yards per carry in any game with Trent Williams as his starting left tackle.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good number. That goes to show you, shout out to them. What you think about Nagy? Because you're not a big fan of Nagy.
Still not my boy by any means. I still think Bieniemy would have been better. I'm going to give all the credit to Andy Reid. Probably slightly unfair, but I still feel
it looked like Andy Reid had a big hand in what was going on as far as play calling.
I thought, speaking of that, they ran the same play that the Hardman scored on. That was the same play they scored to take the lead against the Eagles last year. Do you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Right there.
And that gets into that whole debate too, Strick, of when do you go to what you're comfortable with and what works and you're good at versus when are you too scoutable?
One other play that was huge was the touchdown to Valdez-Scantling, because that was schemed perfectly. It was schemed enough to get Kelsey into the flat to make the safety come down, and you ran a seam that would normally be the seam for the tight end. You ran Scantling on like a mini skinny post seam that left him butt naked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the easiest throw that probably Mahomes had all night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he didn't drop it, which has been a theme for the Chiefs all year. Good stuff on the Super Bowl. We'll bring in Jay Foreman, crossed over with Old School to wrap up on the block.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, Southwest Iowa, and Northern Kansas. Find out how we heal hearts with heart, starting with yours at chihealth.com/heart.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh-cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals, located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hey, it's Chad with the Nutrition Authority, inviting you to stop in and check out the all-new complete post-workout recovery, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today and try a free sample or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now. And if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island. Online at sartorheyman.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through February 13th is spend $40 and get stew beef for free. Plus, 15% off all alcohol and chocolates as you prepare for Valentine's Day. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final segment here on the block. We call it the crossover with Old School. We got Jay Foreman in the building. I'm Austin Norman. He's Erick Strickland. Jay's on the far right. If you're looking on stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Jay, Strick and I just spent all hour breaking down the Super Bowl. You've only got 1 hour for Old School. The Supernovas coming up at 5. Sure, you got plenty of Super Bowl thoughts, but is there anything kind of smaller on the Super Bowl that you might not have time for next hour you want to hit in the crossover?
I'd probably say, you got out, obviously, Andy Reid and those guys. Obviously, there's the whole staff out coached 49ers. I mean, that's just apparent just by the overtime decision or lack of preparation. That's how you could get out coached. It's not necessarily in-game adjustments. I felt like 49ers could have, could walk away, say they need, decently in-game coaching. But I think mostly they got out coached. And it's part of being out coached is understanding how to coach inside the moment or in the moment. We've seen it. Dan Campbell a couple weeks prior probably would like to have points back on one of the drives. And then you just saw the difference between a true championship quarterback and a quarterback that's just good. And Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. He's just the fact that the way he plays under pressure is probably the worst, is probably the biggest thing that I took away from it. Because a good quarterback, a guy that's about that life, isn't going to continue to throw off their back heel like that. Back foot.
Step in, take a shot, complete a pass.
Well, your footwork has to be, you have to understand, first of all, you have to know, you played the Ravens, right? They destroyed you with the blitz. In fact, they're not going to recreate blitzes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? if you decide to blitz a safety from high, he's going to hit one of the gaps. There's only like 10 blitzes that you probably can go against. They're not. I mean, you can come up with something exotic that might look different. Cat blitz or something.
There's only so many gaps.
There's only so many gaps, and you mostly when the quarterback has the blitz guy, you got to know where your hot route is, and you got to be on schedule. He doesn't know how to handle the blitz. You have to accelerate you have to know where it's coming from. That's your job. Then number 2, you got to know where you're going. So once you know those 2 things, then you got to know how to get it there quicker. So that means you have got to be able to throw guys open. That means you got to be able to hit that out route that's wide open against essentially zero coverage, hard inside man, and it's going to be it's going to be physical. Kansas City's going to mug them. They're not going to give you any type of touchdown, and that's the difference. When you are a schematic / secondary scheme type of quarterback, you run into trouble like that. And that's the difference. You're not going to win a Super Bowl like that.
That last play that you're talking about there, where Purdy throws it to the back of the end zone instead of out. Nick and I were talking about it a little bit. I don't know if it was in the crossover and you were here, Strick, or not, but I said that was the game manager throw. Patrick Mahomes throws the out route. Brock Purdy plays it safe and throws it to the back of the end zone, where he can say, I gave my guy a chance. He just broke out. I threw it up. Right. But you're saying throw the dang out route. It's what's called.
You put those to win the game. You get that first down, game's over. Because you can bleed the clock and kick a field goal with like 1 or 2 seconds left. That's the difference between playing to win or playing like, okay, I just did my job. That's like, what the equivalent of that is like somebody that Strick in your field of shooting a 3 on a fast break because technically you are open because you're in a fast break or secondary break. And you can come to me like, yeah, you're open. Yeah, because either they left you open or because you were open. But actually the good basketball play is 1 or 2 more passes or back cut, secondary cut, or whatever you want to call it. That's what you're supposed to do. But in theory, you could tell me you were open. In theory, you were throwing it because you thought that was there. In reality, against man-to-man, and Jennings is your big physical receiver, you have got to force him to win. If you throw it out, it's the same result. You throw it to where he's breaking out to where he only can catch it, and he catches it, you win. If he doesn't catch it, that's the play that you're supposed to go to. And it's the quickest one. But you got to accelerate you got to be able to play quarterback within a scheme or a system. That's where you see guys that are really, really great. That's where you see like Drew Brees be really, go next level. Drew Brees, when he went to New Orleans, was more of a system / scheme quarterback, right? That's what, really depended on seam routes and play action pass and, dumb linebacker play and all that. But then once he got into it, he was starting to fit them in. And that's where he went to the next level, where he's putting up back-to-back 5,200-yard seasons and stuff like that. So, that's probably the difference in the game. And, Kyle Shanahan didn't help out the 49ers by going away from the run game. I do not, and that's the hard. I do not understand that. And that's what Andy Reid and Bill Belichick are playing like they're playing PlayStation Madden on these guys aren't even get out of like first grade. Like you're pounding the ball at them. You are control. So as you're doing that, you are deflating the other team's offense. But you decide to go essentially, it seemed like a quarter and a half, 2 quarters, and throwing the ball. You don't have to match. You're not going to do that. And you really have to crank up the run game against Kansas City in the second half.
Is that where Kansas City starting with the ball in the second half helped them dictate the terms of the second half at all? Or should that not even have mattered?
Well, the perfect example of what of not even understanding where you're at is Patrick Mahomes comes out first drive pick. Okay. If I run the ball 3 times, that's 3 minutes off. Right? You were doing really good on toss plays. You were really doing really good on inside outside run, but you decide to run inside run when you know that they're going to try to blitz and do run blitz you up the middle. You ran on 4th or 3rd and short to the right side of your line of scrimmage or your offensive line when that's your weakest spot.
Don't run behind your all-pro Trent Williams.
And your potential all-pro guard and in Kittle. And then yes, Kittle got hurt, but also that's fine. Willis comes in. He hasn't played all game. Well, then you put the other tight end over there on play side.
Yeah.
Those are the in-game adjustments that Andy Reid makes every day of the week. every game, Super Bowl, first game, preseason, because he coaches them all the same. And for you to not know the overtime rules, it'd be straight up. And I love Kyle Shanahan. I know Kyle. He's wrong for that. For Andy Reid to go, he had this meeting every week during the playoffs because it's important. It's almost equivalent when when the Patriots beat the Rams and they were talking about how physical they were and able to push through that game. Julian Edelman and all those guys talked about this hill that they had, right? And they hated running it. But Belichick said it's going to win us the game and win us a championship. So before they came down to wherever the game was, I think maybe Atlanta or wherever it was, the indoor game, he made him run. He made them run the same workout that they ran in the preseason because it paid off. So everything Andy Reid, and I've been in those meetings. It's monotonous. We're never going to get there. Well, up jumping the cat. Dummy took the ball first. You don't ever take the ball first.
Even with the new rules.
I couldn't
even with the old rules. Because I want to know what I'm going up against.
Well, especially with the old rules, but even with the new rules. Yeah.
Right. Well, with the old rules, if you feeling now you got to score, you feel like you can score a touchdown. Now, okay, that's fine. Okay, I can see that. I can see why you take it, but the new rules have been the new rules. I mean, you've been in the league meetings. Overtime is overtime, man. It was a little disheartening, but I just think that they got out of their way. They had the game in the clutches, and you got to beat Kansas City. And the Kansas City is just here's what Kansas City's thinking. They slid in and stole the championship. Now you in trouble. That's what it really would. That's not a Super Bowl championship team. They hadn't played like it. They played like it 3 or 4 weeks, right? Kind of like when the Patriots went to Kansas City, couldn't get out of their own way, and what they said, we're going to throw it to Gronk all the way down the field. And then what they do against the Rams, didn't do anything. Remember Todd Gurley was running up and down the field. McVay started to throw the ball. Well, okay. Well, we're just going to line up 2 tight ends and shorten this bad boy down, and then we're going to throw it to Gronkowski and win the game and still get a Super Bowl. Because nobody cares about the score. The same thing Kansas City did. Sometimes these guys get too smart, but you know what? I'm predicting here. I think San Francisco is going to win a championship.
Woo. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. I think this is the harsh reality of it. I think that sometimes you got to fall on your face till you get a little bit dose of reality.
More Super Bowls, supposed to Husker Hoops as well coming up.
Yeah, Husker Hoops first, and then we'll send everybody off until Supernova Land there at the 5 o'clock.
There we go. Stricky, good stuff today.
Good stuff.
Do it again tomorrow. Teach Tape Tuesday. Maybe some Husker Hoops, some Super Bowl. Until when?
Something there. Mañana.
I'll see you.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hog Wild's giant stuffed baked potatoes are anything but basic and really hit the spot when you're craving a little comfort food. Nothing is more satisfying than a Hog Wild baked potato loaded with butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, bacon bits, and chives. Add your choice of a Hog Wild house smoked meat like pulled pork, chicken, or brisket for a little extra. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals. Located in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Healing the heart takes heart. Our dedicated team of cardiac experts is here for you with breakthrough treatments for serious conditions and expert advice for living longer with a healthier heart. We bring healing care to our community with over 90 cardiology specialists and subspecialists and more than 50 locations across Nebraska, Southwest Iowa, and Northern Kansas. Find out how we heal hearts with heart, starting with yours at chihealth.com/heart.
Acres is bringing you the nation's largest indoor display of John Deere equipment and technology. Acres 2024 Ag and Turf Expo showcases everything from tillage and planting to application and harvest. We'll also offer the latest industry insights from ag professionals